Welcome back. This next guest is helping hardworking people of Louisiana solve their tax problems. Tax Crisis Rescue can help you find affordable solutions to your personal or business tax non-compliance issues and unpaid tax debt. Here to explain is Tax Crisis Rescue CPA Dirk Danos. Dirk, welcome.
Thanks. I'm grateful to be here, Jacqueline.
Wonderful. We're happy to have you.
So
just starting out, can you explain to me why people choose not to file a tax return on time?
Okay, so this year it's estimated that about 21% of taxpayers will have underpaid their tax obligations this year. So what that means is once you're going to get your tax return prepared, you may be surprised by a balance due and unprepared to send the payments in. It's common for people to think that if they avoid filing the return, then it'll buy them a little more time to get prepared to settle up the debt. But actually, that's the worst thing that you can do.
Right, this is actually counterproductive.
It really is. So what I'd rather see you do instead is get the return prepared, file it on time. Even if you have a $50,000 balance, I'd like you to send in a payment of $100.
Sure.
Now that accomplishes two huge things in your favor. First of all, it takes the failure to file penalty, which is 25%, off the table.
Oh wow, that's a huge percentage.
Well, in this instance, if it's a $50,000 balance, that's over a $12,000 penalty.
Right.
So the next thing it does is it shows the IRS that you made a credible attempt to pay something. Now at this point, you have some options.
So you're not being negligent. You know what's going on. That's what
Correct.
that means, right? Okay.
Right. You're being proactive.
Right.
Okay, so at this point, you have options. And the best thing to do is work with somebody who's a resolution professional who knows the tax code and the IRS 2012 Fresh Start program. One of the options under that program is a tax debt settlement, which allows you to take care of that debt for up to 85% off the original balance if you qualify.
Oh, I see. Okay. And can you mention some of those qualifications for our viewers?
So to qualify, I wrote about it in the book, Get the Tax Man Off Your Back.
Okay. I like the title.
So, yeah, thanks. In Chapter 10, I explained the Offering Compromise program.
Okay.
And in there, you can find out if you qualify for that tax debt settlement.
Sure.
So, book's available on Amazon, but for your Great Day Louisiana viewers, we've set up a web page.
Oh, wonderful.
It's at irscrisishelp.com.
Okay.
You can go to that page, fill out the online form, submit it, and we'll send you an email with a link to a free download copy.
Oh, wonderful. That's good to know. Thank you so much.
Sure.
So let's see. So if you do not qualify for a settlement, what are your other options? Yeah,
right. So if you don't qualify, there's a tax resolution option for every tax problem, okay? We just got to find the one that's most advantageous for your situation.
Sure.
So one of the more common ones that I use is the currently non-collectible status.
Okay.
Now, if I get you in a non-collectible status, it means that you can't pay anything in right now, or to do so would create an undue financial hardship to you or your family.
Right.
So once you're in non-collectible status, no payments are required.
Right.
The bad news is penalties and interest keep accruing on your account, so the balance keeps growing.
Right.
Now, for people who have fallen upon hard times, this is usually inconsequential compared to the relief they feel by not being in IRS's forced collections.
Sure.
Which is getting your wages garnished or having money seized right out of your bank account.
So how long of a time period would you recommend for people, to kind of, I mean, as you said, it sort of lifts this off of their chest, this burden, but
right.
You're accruing interest constantly. That doesn't stop. So at what point would you recommend you start paying down the debt? Okay,
so once you're in a better financial position to address the debt, basically IRS is giving you a chance to regain your financial footing. Once you get there, then we use the other fresh start options to address the debt and pay it down. One of the options that I use, another one, is an installment agreement.
Okay.
Now what that is, it's a legal agreement between you and IRS, and it allows you to pay the debt back with monthly payments over a period of time. It could go stretch out as long as 84 months.
Sure.
Right. So, and if you structure it properly, the future failure to pay penalties are cut in half.
Oh, I see. Okay. And that's where you can come in and help, right? Because everybody's individual needs and wants are different when it comes to
Right,
taxes.
it depends on what your specific situation is, but if you've ever had to set up an agreement without any help and just call in the IRS and ask for one, you may notice that you're paying monthly payments, but the balance isn't going down. That's because it wasn't structured properly, or maybe that wasn't the right option for you.
Right, okay, that makes sense. So what if you haven't filed a tax return in several years and now you want to correct this issue? What would you recommend?
Yeah, right. So I see this often. Taxpayers go off the rails for whatever reason, you know, life happens.
Right.
Then they don't know how to get back into compliance. So I see people come into the office and they have multiple years of unfiled returns. A lot of times they don't even know which ones are unfiled. So the first thing I've got to do is determine which returns are missing. Next, out of those returns that are missing, we figure out which ones are required to be filed so that you could regain compliance. You may not have to file all of the returns. Once we discover which ones have to be filed, it's a matter of getting the data, because lots of times the records are missing or non-existent or lost.
Right.
So what I do is I use transcripts, bank account statements, credit card statements, and we use that data to rebuild the income and expense numbers that go in your tax return.
Okay, great.
So we file the tax returns. If there's a balance due, we use one of the Fresh Start programs to address the debt.
Okay, thank you so much, Dirk. We'll be back after this commercial break.